and has grounded its own fleet of Ospreys.
Fox's Jonathan Savage. Tributes are pouring in for Henry Kissinger, who died at age 100. Even from our adversaries, Russia and China, countries Kissinger tried to improve relations with while Secretary of State.
There is no country in the world where it is conceivable that a man of my origins could be standing here next to the President of the United States.
He served under Nixon and Ford after coming to America as a teenager, fleeing Nazis, then fighting against Germany in World War II. Kissinger won a Nobel Peace Prize for helping end the Vietnam War, though he was also criticized for U.S. policies during the war. America's listening to Fox News.
Can you trust the government to protect you? We have political chaos, high inflation, global wars, no border protection, and our leadership telling you about pronouns and electric cars. It's time to take a hard look at protecting yourself and your family. It's time to call Oxford Gold Group. Whether you want to diversify against inflation or have gold on hand, you need to visit jessekellygold.com. Protect yourself with a visit to jessekellygold.com. That's jessekellygold.com.
Sometimes I struggle to get to sleep. My body stopped for the day, but my mind is still running. So I take ZzzQuil.
ZzzQuil, the world's #1 sleep aid brand, has a range of non-habit-forming products to fit you and your family's needs. Invest in a great night's sleep for the best you tomorrow.
I'm awake and ready to take on anything.
Better days start with ZzzQuil nights. Explore our products at ZzzQuil.com. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
We expect to hear this hour from Congressman George Santos the day before the House votes on a resolution to expel the Republican potentially from Congress after an ethics probe found Santos misused campaign funds. But Santos also lied to New York voters about his past before the election. He has not yet gone to trial, though, on campaign finance fraud charges. So House Speaker Mike Johnson admits,
I personally have real reservations about doing this. I'm concerned about a precedent that may be set for that.
Only 5 House members have ever been kicked out of Congress, 3 after the Civil War. Also this morning in the House, another hearing into what GOP lawmakers claim has been a weaponization of the government.
House Republicans claim they have documents from Google that show the Biden administration wanted Americans censored over, quote, vaccine misinformation on social media platforms like YouTube. The documents include an internal email where Google said the company would, quote, seek to work closely with this administration on multiple policy fronts. Journalists Matt Taibbi and Michael Schellenberger are set to testify before the House Judiciary Committee. Taibbi was a reporter for Rolling Stone who received significant attention last year after publishing the first edition of the Twitter files. Democrats have argued much of the efforts to remove vaccine misinformation were critical in helping to save lives. On Capitol Hill, Ryan Schmelz, Fox News.
The director of the CDC will be questioned at another hearing today as Republicans demand more answers about a new respiratory illness in China where COVID originated.
Calling on the CDC to be forthcoming about any possible health threats in this outbreak, if any, that could affect Americans. Oversight and Investigations Chair Morgan Griffith among those who accuse the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention of, quote, undermining public trust in the agency during the COVID pandemic. They say they want to prevent a repeat of missteps made then.
Fox's Sue Guzman on Wall Street. Stocks could surge. Dow futures are up more than 200 points. I'm Dave Anthony, and this is Fox News.
Here's a look at local news. Illinois releasing preliminary totals for the first weekend of the Illinois firearm deer hunting season. Between November 17th and the 19th, hunters in the state harvesting 53,348 deer. That's slightly less than the same period last year. Awards are starting to roll in for Illinois defensive tackle Jerzon Newton. He was named the Nagurski-Woodson Big Ten Defensive Player of the Year and the Smith-Brown Big Ten Defensive Lineman of the Year. He is the 4th Illini in history to earn the Big Ten Defensive Player of the Year award. The junior led Power 5 defensive tackles and quarterback pressures for the second straight year. Illinois Department of Agriculture will bring the Illinois Product Holiday Market back to downtown Springfield this weekend. Market takes place Friday through Sunday on the Y Block north of the Governor's Mansion. Holiday Market will feature Illinois products, including local eggnog, milk, and cheeses. You're up to date from the Stevie Jay Broadcasting Newsroom. I'm Jim Miller.
All right, thank you, Jim Miller. ESPN 93.5. I am Stevie Jay. It's Diane Ducey
Good
there.
morning.
Greg Solier has jumped on, brought to you this morning by the Urbana Park District.
And they remind you that indoor aquatic center will be open during the winter break from December 20th through January 3rd from 1:30 to 5:30. And they have these punch cards and all kinds of things on sale, 50% off December 4th through the 8th. Learn more about the Urbana Indoor Aquatic Center at urbanaparks.org.
All righty, meteorologist Greg Solier. Mr. Solier, good morning to you on a milder morning, sir.
Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah. Good morning, guys. And boy, temperatures that are about double from what we had here just a couple of days ago. And when you get down the line here into December and January, these readings in the mid-30s already are pretty much close to what you'd expect in the afternoon on a positive day's worth of weather. So things look pretty good. Wind out November, welcome in meteorological winter starting tomorrow morning. And with that in mind, it's largely all rain to contend with here the next weather system coming our way, and some welcome rains of 1 to 3 inches for some of those worst drought areas of eastern Texas, Johnny's Place down there towards New Orleans, and much of the deep south. 34 Willett and Savoy now, 35 at Rantoul, 34 Bloomington Normal, to 37 at Danville, 42 already up at least down at St. Louis, 39 at Chicago. Only real winter to contend with this next weather system expected into parts of Iowa and Wisconsin. So for the day-to-day, increasing, thickening, and lowering clouds, breezy, mild. We ought to be about 41, 42 this time of the year, but 50 today, even a little higher south of Champaign with a south wind, and a bit of rain breaking out in a few spots mid to late afternoon. Otherwise, rains overspread the area tonight, lows down to 40. Ought to be pretty wet and soggy here tomorrow morning, probably through early afternoon, and the rains will taper back, good solid 1/2 to 3/4 of an inch. December 1st high, not bad, 47, may drop back a little bit in the afternoon as winds shift around into the west-northwest. A little bit of drizzle, some light rain early tomorrow night, low down to 38. We have added a little drizzle in the air here, maybe a couple of fog patches early Saturday morning, and then a mostly cloudy midday and afternoon for the big event. The high to about 47, 48 with a couple of sprinkles on Sunday, Monday 45, mid-40s again Tuesday with a sprinkle, maybe a snowflake in the morning, then 45 to 50 degree weather next Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. For Stevie Jay Broadcasting, I'm meteorologist Greg Solier.
All right, thank you. The former chairperson for Massachusetts Republican Party, founder of Pocketbook Project, Jennifer Nassour, how are you?
I am doing great. How are you this morning?
Well, I'm fine and dandy. We got Sean Hannity, Fox News Tonight, hosting this Godzilla versus King Kong or something. I have a hard time getting fired up. Why do I care about this debate between DeSantis and Newsom?
I think everyone's scratching their head and asking the same exact question. Why do they care about this? Look, Sean Hannity, very creative thought about getting the blue state versus the red state and the differences of governors in how they govern and what their states are like. However, here's the problem. That was months ago that this came up. And at the time, it looked as if DeSantis might be the alternative to Trump in the Republican primary. But all that's happened over the last couple of months is that DeSantis' numbers have slipped very considerably, and you see Nikki Haley rise. So really, this should be a debate between Nikki Haley and Gavin Newsom. And I don't even know why Gavin Newsom is in this, because supposedly he's not running for president, right?
No, he's been running long before he went to China and tackled that kid on the basketball court, which is rather awkward. Anyway, look at the video of that, folks. It's just I have zero interest, and I guess it's like it's the undercard or something. And I just, first of all, are they going to fact check and all that stuff?
I don't know. I think this is very risky for DeSantis, right? I think it is an opportunity, a desperate opportunity for him to try to stay relevant. But he has a debate next week, and if he doesn't come out better than Newsom, I don't see how this is really going to help him. Because at the end of the day, if we are going to be showcasing a Democrat and a Republican, it should be, from my perspective, at least on the right, we should have the Republican out there that's going to show that she could cream whatever, and you notice I said she, could cream whatever Democrat is running for office, because I'm not convinced it's Joe Biden. And like you, worst kept secret in politics is Gavin Newsom's presidential run here, right?
Yeah.
So I would really like to see a Haley Newsom showdown where Haley could showcase and have Newsom shaking in his little light loafers over there, how brilliant and competent and capable she is. And I think you would see those poll numbers where she's beating Joe Biden by 9 to 13 points around the country, especially in those swing states, and see what those poll numbers are with her and Newsom. Because I think at the end of the day, that's the most telling thing for a general election.
Yeah, but Gavin Newsom, I mean, I think he's good looking and all that, and got the look and the sound. But I don't think 10% of what he says is actually factual. So
no, he makes it up. He relies on the fact that he's a good looking, young compared to Joe Biden, very young man who is the governor of a very large state, and he's very wealthy, right? So he looks that Kennedy-esque part.
Yeah.
And so, is the Democratic Party, are they going to be able to get away with swapping Biden out and passing over Kamala for Newsom? I actually think yes, because the Democratic Party, as much as they say that they, are into all the things that they're into, and at the end of the day, they're still the same old party, and they still will go with the same white guy. And Gavin Newsom will be the alternative to old Joe Biden, who doesn't know which way to exit a stage.
I think the problem is in August, if Joe Biden comes out and said, you know what, I don't feel very well, I'm stepping down, please welcome Michelle Obama. She'd win. Period. She'd just win.
Well, I don't know if she would win nationally. I mean, I think, again, 51% of our electorate around the country, total electorate, considers themselves independent. And so, I think that we hear a lot in the liberal media about how progressive things are. I mean, you see this poor kid was getting canceled, at a Chiefs game.
Right.
And so, I think that there's a lot of that goes on. But I think at the end of the day, people want competency. And I think what we see right now going on around the world is that we need real leadership. And Michelle Obama is celebrity. That is not leadership.
Well, but look where we are, though. I mean, Dwight Eisenhower, he's the Allied commander. And then we're talking about The Rock and Oprah and this day and age, I wouldn't be shocked with social media, crime, and maybe Taylor Swift could be VP. I'm just saying. This is the time, the age of the celebrity, where I'm sorry, I don't feel like the majority of the electorate is very well informed.
Well, clearly we've got college protests, pro-Palestinian protests, pro-Hamas protests, and going against Israel. Clearly, we are not living in a very educated society, and I'm sorry that is very much a generalization. I live in Boston, and what you see here is absolutely disgusting. And no one should ever go to Harvard or give them money again. However, I think at the end of the day, those people who vote and people who are feeling the crunch, I know us here in Massachusetts, we're kicking out our homeless and low-income veterans and elderly that have paid into our system and protected our country for migrants. We are consistently asking the federal government to fund us. We are quickly running out of money here after our Republican governor had built up our coffers because of the migrants. So someone needs to secure that border and get control of that. And someone needs to be powerful overseas. And that is not going to be a Democrat. That's not going to be Michelle Obama. The only person I think can do it is Nikki Haley, who has shown the gumption. And that's what we're going to see tonight is this a show-off between two celebrities, between Newsom and DeSantis, looking for the next, who is going to be the next TV host, or are we looking for the next president?
How do people find Jennifer, Nassour, Jennifer Nassour, Pocketbook Project? How do we find you?
You can find me at Jennifer Nassour on all social, or you can check out the Pocketbook Project as well on all social.
Thanks, Jennifer. Appreciate you.
Thank you for having me. Have a great weekend.
You as well. All right, on the Tapman's Toy and phone line, that was Jennifer Nashur, 716. Check your sports headlines.
Well, we had the Illini women's basketball team taking down Central Connecticut State 89-50. So next up will be Northern Kentucky on Wednesday the 6th at 6. You know, we've had some upsets when it comes to men's basketball in the top 25 with Arkansas taking down number 7 Duke 80-75 and number 17 North Carolina over number 10 Tennessee 100-92. Now, Illini fans are paying attention because next Saturday the 9th, we've got Tennessee at Tennessee, and we've been rated number 24. So if we could, you know, get some wins with some of these ranked teams, I think that means something. Florida Atlantic is also Tuesday the 5th.
Yeah, no, tough schedule coming up. We'll really see where Illinois is in this older team. We'll see. We'll see what we got, but we're going to be tested big time next week.
That's right. Iowa.
We're going to be tested Saturday at Rutgers.
Sure.
I mean, so there's 3 really tough games coming up for the Illini. So.
And we had Iowa beating University of North Florida 103-78 yesterday, and Ohio State over Central Michigan 88-61. This isn't the Big Ten ACC Challenge. They did away with that, right?
It's not there anymore.
So it's something else now. But I feel like that's why there's a little bit of a lull here, because we are used to that happening. Elise Knutson is a local favorite from Philo, and I know they probably were talking about her at the coffee, getting her.
Well, I was talking about it because they beat Augustana last night by a lot, and she had 36. The all-time leading scorer at Unity High School is averaging 28 points a game thus far from Milligan. She's just really, really good. She was 14 out of 18 last night, 6 of 9 from 3, 2 of 2 from the line. Elise Knutson, the number 1 player in Division III, and one of the top averages in America at women's basketball, 28 a game.
That's right. Number 1 in Division III scoring. So congratulations, Elise. She was in my daughter Anna Anderson's class for the Unity Rockets. And I remember when she was holding a basketball with Brian Cardinal, who used to be the top scorer. And good stuff there. And Parkland's women's basketball team beating Olney Central College yesterday, 82-62, are 8-0 on the season. So NFL action tonight, Seattle and Dallas.
All right, let's check your weather, brought to you by Houlihan's Restaurant.
Houlihan's on Thursday evenings has a great experience live in the lounge with some terrific music. And today it's Doc Shred Piano. So enjoy that from 6 to 8 at First and St. Mary at Houlihan's.
Hello again, everyone. Let's check weather for East Central Illinois, Champaign and Van Ness vicinity, and another pleasant day's worth of weather regarding temperatures back into play. But as the afternoon wears on, a bit of rain will be breaking out. Some early to mid-morning sunshine, otherwise increasing cloudiness will head towards about 50, even a little milder south of Champaign County, and a gusty south wind. Widespread rains across the area for tonight, lows near 40. For the day tomorrow, December 1st, turning colder just a bit, 47 and dropping. Periods of rain for the morning through the early afternoon in particular, as winds shift to the west-northwest. The rain and drizzle wind down tomorrow night, low down to 38, and maybe a little drizzle in spots down here come early to mid-morning on Saturday, mostly cloudy afternoon, still up to about 47 degrees there, 48, and a couple of sprinkles around on Sunday, Monday up to 45, maybe a little shower activity on Tuesday, highs again at around 45 degrees, we'll inch close to 50 degrees next Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Mild weather with us here through about the first 10 days, 12 days of the month of December. For Stevie Jay Broadcasting, I'm Meteorologist Greg Solier.
Since Busey Bank first opened our doors in 1868, we have built upon a tradition of close relationships and broad financial capabilities. Our experienced team provides the highest level of personalized service to ensure we accomplish your goals, simplifying your wealth management and business lending needs and ensuring a legacy for generations. Building business, growing wealth. Since 1868, proud to be the official bank of the Fighting Illini. Member FDIC.
All right, stand by. John Decker, moments away. Did you know Nathaniel's got a really good one today in a half an hour? Stand by.
Okay.
720 ESPN 93.5. Be right back.
I'm Elizabeth McDonald, and this is the Fox Business Report.
It's a final trading day of the month, and stock futures are on track to end November on a high note. Shares of Tesla showing modest gains in the pre-market on this milestone day as it gets ready to deliver its first Cybertrucks. Eurozone inflation fell more than expected this month. The block's consumer price index rose 2.4% on the year, slowing from 2.9% the previous month. That's the lowest rate since July 2021. And the Financial Times reporting Saudi Arabia has won provisional backing for further oil production cuts by the OPEC Plus group, boosting oil prices to the highest in 3 weeks ahead of a crucial meeting of the cartel. The meeting's being held online rather than in person after being delayed from Sunday. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Lillian Wu, invested in you.
Stay on top of the latest forecast with America's Weather Team in the palm of your hands.
Here's the latest from America's Weather Center.
It's Fox weather updates throughout your busy day, every day.
5 inches of rain by tomorrow.
Temperatures being 30 degrees above average.
Put the power of over 100 meteorologists and the worldwide resources of Fox in your hands with the Fox Weather Podcast. Precise, personal, powerful. Subscribe and listen now at foxnewspodcasts.com.
Crossroads Contractor Supply specializes in the delivery of tools and supplies within a 150-mile radius of Champaign-Urbana. Reliable, timely, and with reasonable prices, Crossroads Contractor Supply knows what equipment and tools are needed for your job. Get the job done right with proper tools and equipment. Did something break? Construction materials, tools, as well as safety equipment, all available at Crossroads Contractor Supply. Visit crossroadscontractorsupplyil.com.
Here's the deal. When you combine State Farm home and auto insurance, you can save an average of $889. The Brian Hansen State Farm Agency is ready to help you combine home and auto and save in Champaign-Urbana. Call 217-344-1900 today. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Average annual household savings based on 2019 national survey by State Farm of new policyholders who reported savings by switching to State Farm.
Well, a couple named Ben and Sarah had bought land to build their dream home on. They owned a very stunning country home, but they did need to sell it. They got with a real estate agent, and not much was happening. Well, they were under a little pressure, as you can be in that situation.
Mm-hmm.
So Ben and Sarah found Nate Evans in the Nate Evans Group, and I'll be darned if he didn't have 2 high-quality offers within 2 weeks. And they sold the home for over the asking price of $500,000.
A lot of people just want to get their home value, and you can explore that really on your phone right now as you go to nateevansgroup.com and see that button right in the middle of the page and enter your address and see what happens. It's making it so easy for you when you get the experience that you need. We hear about these stories of people who got thousands of dollars more because they used Nate Evans of the Nate Evans Group with eXp Realty, getting you that immediate cash offer on your home. There's flexible fees. Sell your home for the most money possible. Call the only agent I would call if I needed to sell my home. It's Nate Evans at 217-239-7113, or go online to Nate Evans Group and start packing.
Sell your home with the Nate. Pick the price, pick the day. Go to the NateEvansGroup.com.
Are you tired of getting the short end of the stick and always being stuck with cold water for your showers? Dogtown Heating, Air, and Plumbing is here to help. With current tax incentives and rebates, you can save up to $900 on a high-efficiency tankless water heater, unlimited hot water, and saving on your energy bills. It seems like the best gift you could give your home. With the current promotion of 0% financing for qualified applicants, you can't afford not to call. 217-841-4728. Dogtown Heating, Air, and Plumbing, your home's best friend.
Since Busey Bank first opened our doors in 1868, we have built upon a tradition of close relationships and broad financial capabilities. Our experienced team provides the highest level of personalized service to ensure we accomplish your goals, simplifying your wealth management and business lending needs and ensuring a legacy for generations. Building business, growing wealth since 1868. Proud to be the official bank of the Fighting Illini. Member FDIC.
Get the roof your home deserves by Roof Doctors, your residential roofing specialist that has always offered the best warranties in the industry, like our non-prorated 50-year warranty. Our customers love that we are family-owned and locally operated. We make our customer needs our top priority. With over 30 years experience and the best customer service, give Roof Doctors a call today for your free estimate at 328-7529. In your community and for your community, Roof Doctors.
By now, you've all heard the expression, when you turn the key and the car won't run, call 367-9481 for PDR Automotive. They are what's best for your truck or car. They are PDR. But who are they? They, the PDR staff, understand that a name is only as good as the people that represent it. The PDR staff has more than 335 years of combined automotive experience. Several employees now on staff for more than 25 years. PDR, more than just a name. Family owned and operated, now celebrating over 50 years in business. Yes, I am in a place where I have never been. Getting ready for my only daughter's wedding. 3 boys and a girl, and this is it for Gracie. And everybody's coming in. And there's 900 things to do. Janet's doing 888 of them. And I can't remember a dozen things.
That's right.
It is.
It's a bit overwhelming, but just know all in God's plan, and it'll all be great.
Yeah.
So just you're approaching it with joy, which is fantastic.
It's there's so many ways to approach a wedding, right?
Yeah.
There's so many. You could have apprehension. You could have, oh gosh, are they the right person kind of thing.
That's right.
I don't have any of that.
That's great.
So that's a blessing, and we've been praying for peace. I certainly have, and it's just like so fast. Everything goes fast. It spins fast, and particularly right now. And those of you that have, done weddings, particularly for women, because they're responsible for most everything. Mm-hmm. The Hurtubise family is awesome. I mean, just fantastic. And yet there's a tip of melancholy in me simply because my role has changed. I'm no longer the leading man for my daughter.
That's right.
And so we've been through so many wonderful adventures, and I don't know, I just blessed to have 4 unbelievable children, and we just prayed and worked very hard and had a lot of FaceTime and time together, and
yeah.
I don't know what else to tell people because I get asked from time to time, you got to marry a woman that's as talented as my wife. That's a biggie. Mm-hmm. And then you love, and spend as much time. I don't know what else you replace time with. And sometimes you're so busy and you got 10 things at work and you can't. There's just things. And
yeah.
It's just we've just been very, very blessed to be so close of a family, and still are, and hopefully always will be. I can't imagine us not being just close. And,
yeah.
Anyway, it's.
I feel the same about the Anderson crew, and we were rallying around Anna in mid-June, and certainly as soon as we turned the calendar over to June, we're game face on. Now, for me, being so invested in music at wedding receptions for over 30 years, I wanted that aspect to be perfect, and all the other stuff, I just, essentially source it out because I don't have time to manage all of that. And, you guys have been more invested.
Well, it's more
the artistic
DIY.
Yeah. The decorations.
What Janet sees and what she envisions are things that are just probably unaffordable but she did it.
And that's always been her zone, though.
But it's a lot, and she's done unbelievable. I mean, anybody who knows my wife is just like, wow, how do you marry her? And that's exactly how I feel. She's so capable and so talented, and yet there's no compromise. Here's the list, and this is the list. So make more hours.
That's right.
So that that's what we do.
Okay.
And that's why the program we're gonna have at the church, I'm telling you, it's I've never seen anything like it. Who sews their program?
Sews?
Yeah.
You mean the bulletin kind of thing?
It's not a bulletin. It's a program.
Okay.
Will and Kate didn't have that. I promise you they did.
Well, every step of the way has been over the top
it's
and above average.
There's something called the Fab Lab at the university, and it's a resource where you can learn how to do everything.
Love it.
And Janet is just capable of reading instructions and getting instruction, and then learning how to emboss and all these other things.
Etching and
everything.
The calligraphy, and it's just over the top.
It's beyond.
I love it.
Beyond when you see that program at church, just.
I think they were dried baby's breath and the wax print to hold it on all
wait till
together.
You see the program.
The presentation.
The program was hand torn. It's like 6-8 pages of everything in fancy lettering, and it's sewn down the middle with her sewing machine.
Oh my goodness!
Stunning. Anyway, all right, we're back in a moment.
Yay, Grace and Jacob!
Yay! Thank you, Jesus. 7:30. John Decker next.
Hi, this is Chris Jackson with Kramer Siding and Window. And whatever your project, you can count on Kramer Siding to offer you the best products backed by the best warranties in the business and a lifetime of great customer service. And right now, you can save 10% on roofing, sunrooms, and decks, get 15% off gutter helmet, and you can save 25% on preservation siding, windows, and doors. So call today or visit us at kramersiding.com and let's get started on your project.
Fox News, I'm Chris Foster. A ceasefire between Israel and Hamas in Gaza is in its 7th day, extended at the last minute through at least today to secure the freedom of more Hamas hostages and Palestinians in Israeli custody and to get more aid into Gaza.
This process is producing results. It's important, and we hope that it can continue.
Secretary of State Antony Blinken back in Israel meeting with Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. At least 3 Israelis are shot and killed today, others wounded at a bus stop in Jerusalem by 2 Palestinian attackers, shot and killed by 2 soldiers and a civilian at the scene. New York House Republican George Santos, facing an expulsion vote tomorrow over ethics and criminal complaints, says again he will not resign. He'd be the 6th ever member of the House to be expelled.
They are trying to join me to the group of 3 Confederates and 2 people convicted in a court of law.
And now he's introduced a resolution to expel New York Democrat Jamal Bowman. America's listening to Fox News.
Here's a look at local news. A 34-year-old woman dead and 2 men arrested following a shooting in Decatur Tuesday night in the area of West Birchie Court in North Union Street. Officers found the victim when they arrived. She had already died at that point. Police arresting 22-year-old Ezekiel Gray for involuntary manslaughter. He remains in custody. IDOT's happy with the progress on their biggest project ever in central Illinois, the I-57, I-74 interchanges. Driving in this area, you can't miss the massive flyby structure starting to take shape. They said the flyovers will make travel between interstates safer and more efficient. The whole project, including Mattis Avenue Bridge and Route 150 Bridge, costing $280 million. For Giving Tuesday, law enforcement agencies across Champaign County gave back with a little friendly competition. The Stuff the Squad event was an all-hands-on-deck effort to fight food insecurity by stuffing squad cars with food. Several law enforcement agencies across the county teamed up with Eastern Illinois Food Bank to see who can collect the most items. You're up to date from the Stevie Jay Broadcasting Newsroom. I'm Jim Miller.
All right, thank you, Jim Miller, ESPN 93.5. We want to check Greg's weather. Greg has been doing an outstanding job getting us out of this crazy cold and much, much better. Our weather with Greg brought to you this morning by Busey. For over 150 years, Busey, member FDIC.
Logan, everyone, let's check weather for East Central Illinois, Champaign-Urbana City, and a nice way to wind out this month of November. Welcome in December with a mild go of it and liquid precipitation. No real winter on the maps and charts here for the foreseeable future. Up close to and around 50 for the high today with increasing clouds and a bit of rain breaking out this afternoon. Gusty south wind, widespread rains across the area for tonight through tomorrow morning. They'll taper in the early afternoon after 3/4 of an inch out there. Temperatures to about 40 tonight. 47 and turning a bit colder tomorrow afternoon as winds shift around into the west-northwest. A little bit of drizzle early tomorrow night and a low down to 38, and some of that drizzle could linger into the early morning hours of Saturday, mostly cloudy 47, upper 40s on Sunday, a couple of sprinkles early and late, 45 on Monday. Tuesday, again, a couple of sprinkles around at 45 degrees for the high, winds close to 50 degrees. Next Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, fair amount of sunshine and gusty winds too. For Stevie Jay Broadcasting, I'm meteorologist Greg Soldier.
It's Thursday. John Decker. I want to talk to John Decker. He is the one we know. I want to talk to John Decker. He's at the White House in press room.
John Decker. I want to talk to John.
Yes, children in combines now singing the theme. Ladies and gentlemen, a shout out to a listener who says this is his favorite part of the week. His name is Keith. He's an engineer, very talented. Keith, we appreciate you dropping your kids off and listening to the show and looking forward to John Decker on Thursday. And I've had many people say, yes, best part of our week is you.
Well, and Stevie,
that's so kind.
Also,
I'm flattered.
The theme song, too, at the Christmas parade.
Theme song, that's right. That's what they're really looking forward to.
Someone
beautiful voice.
I was with a young man on the golf course 4 or 5 years ago, and we were going on hole 15. We'd gone the whole day, and he sat there and casually said, "That song you play for John Decker is the best thing you do all week." I'm telling you. No, it's true. It's what we got. Yeah. He is John Decker, Great Television's national correspondent, White House correspondent. Kind of a big deal. So good to have you on. I'm having Gracie's getting married Saturday, so I'm a little distracted.
I know. Congratulations.
Thank you.
You're busy. You got a lot on your mind.
I even if it was next Thursday, I'm not interested in this undercard tonight with Sean Hannity. I'm sorry. I'm not. DeSantis and Newsom is just. I don't got anything on that. I don't know what we're doing.
Yeah, this is. I like how you call it the undercard because that's essentially what it is. I've been to high-level boxing matches, world championship boxing matches. I was at Lennox Lewis versus Mike Tyson in Memphis, Tennessee, and then there was the undercard, and it's like, who are these guys? So I can understand why you say that. But look, for Gavin Newsom, this is a great opportunity. He's not running in 2024. He's got his eyes on 2028, and he's has this Fox News audience that he'll have at his disposal tonight. That's pretty valuable, the largest audience in cable television. For Ron DeSantis, he's trying to stop the momentum of Nikki Haley. Nikki Haley really has had some momentum. She's still in second place. She's far behind Donald Trump, but she's moving up in the polls. She's had good debates. She got this endorsement of the Koch political network just the other day. And tonight, all eyes as far as Republicans will be concerned on Ron DeSantis. But not everybody's cup of tea. So maybe, I can understand why you're not going to watch it, and others will flip the channel to something else.
Well, when I hear Gavin Newsom speak, my first thought is that true? What he just... Because he sounds, I just think a whole lot of what he says about how great California is. I'm not sure because I see things happening there and there are actual facts about things. And no, it's not. It's great. We're doing what everybody ought to do. What we're doing. Everybody ought to do. What are you talking about? So I'm get confused. I think he's, life would be a lot easier if when people told a bold-faced lie, their nose actually did grow. It would be
the Pinocchio effect.
No, but you'd be very careful if you actually had to have plastic surgery every time you talked.
Right. Yeah. No, that's a good idea. I like that. That's not going to happen. Not going to happen. But in any case, look, I think we're going to hear two different visions of America. Red state America, blue state America, for both domestic policy, foreign policy. And interesting debate host. Think of when we think of debate hosts, we're typically thinking of newsmen and newswomen, that are perceived as unbiased. Sean Hannity has a bias. He's proud of it. And so that's why it's going to be interesting to see him as the moderator this evening.
Reason you want an opinion of bias is you might make $42 million a year.
Wow.
So Sean makes 40.
There you go.
So it's a little more lucrative to have a point of view. In any event, it'll be interesting to see what happens. I don't know about this Representative Santos. I haven't followed it from day one.
Right.
Apparently they voted a guy in that isn't real good.
Right.
And another thing.
And maybe he warped the truth when he was coming up in the ranks.
It just, John, and another thing.
Another thing.
Right.
There's just so much out there. The thing that just is brutal to learn more about is the whole Hamas and Israel. And now Israel's supposed to fight a war, carefully. And this is a war. It's hell. It's horrible. Yeah. And, you had a massacre on October the 7th. What is Israel supposed to do about it except try and retaliate? Well, Hamas doesn't want to negotiate. They want you dead. I don't know how you negotiate with that.
Yeah, I don't know how you do that either. It's in the charter of Hamas, the destruction of the state of Israel, and it's hard to negotiate. But having said that, they are still holding a significant number of hostages, and that's the reason why you have to continue those conversations. You want to get the release of, Israeli citizens. So another day of what is being called a humanitarian pause, not a ceasefire, not a truce, and that's to get the release of 10 additional hostages, and it's still women and children. No men or teenagers have been released by Hamas, and it's just a really sad situation. But to your point, you see these various members of Congress putting pressure on Israel to fight wars with, essentially their hands tied behind their back. And that's just difficult, when you're talking about the very survival of your country.
Well, and you also, my thought is obviously they're prolonging to reload and all these other things, and Israel's trying to get information on the tunnels. I get all that, but can't Hamas get more hostages? They're never going to give them all up, John. That's their chip.
Yeah, it is. It really is, and they recognize that. There's only been, I would say, less than half of the hostages have been released so far. Certainly, and many more that need to be released. All of them should be released. And initially, the point of view of the administration was it should be an unconditional release. And now we see all these conditions that are applied to the release of these innocent civilians that were, whose neighbors, whose loved ones were murdered back on October the 7th.
John, do you think the atrocities happened, beheading babies, do you think that happened because when you talk to a Palestinian supporter, they simply say it's a lie? None of that occurred. Israel made it up. What are the facts?
Well, these atrocities did happen. They did occur. Israel has provided evidence of that, and I think that sometimes the truth hurts. If you're confronted with that evidence of what Hamas did. Remember, Hamas has been labeled a terrorist organization by both the United States and the European Union. It doesn't have clean hands here, and they are a terrorist organization, plain and simple.
All right, it's John Decker on the Tapman Joint phone line, ESPN 93.5 at 742. So if anything happens with an impeachment of Joe Biden or digging into Hunter Biden and the Democrats allow it, is that our signal that the Democrats are done with Joe Biden?
Well, I don't think that's going to happen. No, and I don't think the Democrats are done with Joe Biden either. He's going to be their nominee. It looks to me like Donald Trump's going to be the Republican nominee. It looks to me like it's going to be a rematch in 2024. I know you don't share that point of view. We've spoken about this before, but that's where things look like today, November 30th. Things can change. Things can change on a dime. We've seen poll after poll, Stevie, which indicates Joe Biden is not a favorite. But he wasn't a favorite in 2020. People forget that. It's not like there was this groundswell of support for Joe Biden, this big love fest for Joe Biden. He won because it was an anti-Trump vote more than anything else. And, if he wins again, if he wins again in 2024, it will be for the same exact reason. When Joe Biden ran for president in 2008, he was running against both Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama for the Democratic presidential nomination. He got 1% in Iowa.
Yeah.
I mean, he's not a great candidate, but he lucked out in being the candidate that was chosen by Democrats in the 2020 nominating process and went on to beat someone who is a divisive figure, and that's Donald Trump.
Well, and you see Joe Biden losing numbers of the young people, which is shocking, and the black vote seems to be fading. Hispanic vote is questionable. Right. I agree. I just think that a whole bunch of, not all, a lot of Democrats would rather have a Gavin Newsom. I think J.B. Pritzker in my state wants in on that deal. So I don't know. I just know there are a lot of people in waiting. If Gavin's planning for 28, he's around for 24 if you need him. Okay? He's around.
Yeah, that's right. He's making it known that if for whatever reason, like you suggested, Joe Biden in June of next year isn't the nominee, there's Gavin Newsom, waiting in the wings. But yeah, as you point out, others will be waiting in the wings as well. They just need to flip the switch, and they're off and running for the Democratic nomination in 2024 if Joe Biden, for whatever reason, is not the nominee. But right now, it looks to me like, he's doing those fundraisers, Stevie. He did a fundraiser in Denver. He's doing a fundraiser in Boston, raising tons of money. You don't do that for fun. You do that because you're running a race, and you need to raise a lot of money for the re-election race.
Okay, all right. So on your docket, any upcoming trips or anything you're planning from the standpoint of covering the president?
President's travel abroad is done for the year. I likely will do a domestic trip with the president within the next 2-3 weeks. I don't know where, I don't know when, because I'll be in the rotation, Stevie. And already I know my travel in the early part of 2024, and that's to the great state of Iowa for the Iowa caucus.
Yep.
So I'll be there for that. That's, kicks off the whole political process, and, and Donald Trump's counting on a win. But, Iowa does things their own way. So we'll see what happens on January the 15th. And then, we'll see what happens as far as other travel. I'm looking forward to a great trip in June of next year. It's going to be to Normandy, France.
Wow.
And that's for the 80th anniversary of D-Day. So I'll do that with President Biden at that time. I'm looking forward to that trip.
We were there for the 65th, and we were in the cemetery, and all this supposed to be quiet and everything. They're banging away at a podium where Barack Obama was going to speak in a few days. And I walked up and stood where he was going to stand, and it just can't describe it.
Right.
It is unbelievable. I'll never see a bluff again and not think of those boys. It's just brutal to see.
I've been there as well, and it does have an impact on you, and it has an impact. It's interesting how Hollywood has an impact in terms of the way that we see things. But I'll tell you, Private Ryan, that opening scene of Private Ryan, that tells the whole story right there, and it's just remarkable when you're there in person to think of what America and its allies were able to do on that day, June the 6th of 1944. So, look, a tremendous opportunity. I look forward to that.
All right, John, Texter, if Joe Biden is the nominee, will Kamala Harris still be VP, or would they go with a Newsom or somebody else?
Yeah, no, she's all in. This is the ticket. It's Biden-Harris once again. Against Trump, whoever he chooses, as his running mate. I think he'd be smart to choose a Nikki Haley personally. That'd be a great ticket for him. You just have to get past. Both of them have to get past the things they've said about each other. Trump's nickname for Haley is Bird Brain.
Wow,
that's not a nice nickname.
I was going to say,
for your running mate.
Pretty contentious in 1980 between Bush and Reagan. That worked out, but Bush never called Reagan a bird brain. So name calling's a little tough. So
that's right. The name calling stuff, but it's interesting because Trump does get over these things. There were so many people that populated his administration that he knew full well were never Trumpers initially, and they came on board, and then he was all about just be loyal to me and my policies, and we're all good. And maybe the same thing may happen with Donald Trump and Nikki Haley down the road. We'll have to wait and see. But that to me is a winning combination.
Okay.
Somebody texted me about, I know you've been at this a while, but had you ever worked with someone like former Secretary of State Henry Kissinger, who died at the age of 100? I know with Rosalind Carter's memorial service this week, she died at the age of 96. Jimmy Carter there at 99. Had you ever worked with some of these legacy politicians?
Well, as it relates to Henry Kissinger, I've seen him speak. I never had an opportunity to interview him during the course of my career. He's before my time. As Secretary of State for both Nixon and Ford. And as far as Rosalind Carter is concerned, I actually, when I was at Fox, I put together the obituary. We do these things, ahead of time. I put together the obituary for Jimmy Carter.
I'll be darned.
So in doing that, I had an opportunity to interview so many interesting people that worked in the Carter administration and learned so many interesting stories about Jimmy Carter in particular, but also the impact that Rosalind Carter had as an advisor, just a sounding board for Jimmy Carter when he ran for president.
Finally, ladies and gentlemen, John Decker is going to see Mick Jagger again, he and his beautiful wife. Can't get no satisfaction, one of their big hits, but can you believe, I know Mick weighs like 100 pounds, but the way he can still work the stage
He's
at
moving for 80, man.
80 years old, man.
Yeah, he's a specimen. He really is. You think what he's been through, and he looks great. He sounds great. He's got a new album out. The Stones have a new album out, and they sound great. Good music, good new songs, and I never get tired of seeing them. And that's the reason why we jumped at the chance to see them. We'll do that in May of next year. So looking forward to that in Las Vegas. What a great place to see the Rolling Stones.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
It's John Decker, great television's White House correspondent, national correspondent. We always appreciate your time, my friend.
Hey, Stevie, have a great time this weekend. Congratulations to you. Congratulations to the whole family, your daughter. Well, I'm so happy for you and for this great weekend you have on tap. I look forward to talking to you next week, but have a great weekend. The best to you.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate it. John Decker, live, ESPN 93.5 every Thursday. All right, we want to check your weather, and we've got Did You Know coming up in just a moment. Stand by, my friends. It's ESPN 93.5 and Mr. Meteorologist with us.
Hello again, everyone. Let's check weather for East Central Illinois, Champaign-Urbana vicinity, and another pleasant day's worth of weather regarding temperatures back into play. But as the afternoon wears on, a bit of rain will be breaking out. Some early to mid-morning sunshine, otherwise increasing cloudiness will head towards about 50, even a little milder south of Champaign County. And a gusty south wind, widespread rains across the area for tonight. Lows near 40. For the day tomorrow, December 1st, turning colder just a bit, 47 and dropping. Periods of rain for the morning through the early afternoon in particular, as wind shift to the west-northwest. The rain and drizzle wind down tomorrow night, low down to 38, and maybe a little drizzle in spots now here come early to mid-morning on Saturday, mostly cloudy afternoon, still up to about 47 degrees there, 48, and a couple of sprinkles around on Sunday, Monday up to 45.
It's better. Gonna get maybe 50 by next week, ESPN 93.5. We check Did You Know. We got to do that right now, ladies and gentlemen. Cue the band. Nathaniel's son, my son in Chicago. Call him Nathaniel's son so you know who he is. And also tip of the cap to Mr. Miyagi.
Mm-hmm.
Karate Kid.
That's right.
Nathaniel!
Good morning.
How are you?
Oh, I'm great. How are you, Dad?
We're fine. We're looking forward to seeing you tonight.
He laughs because he knows there's all kinds of things going on, the hustle and bustle.
Do you notice, though, that your mother does 890 things and I only have to do 10 and I struggle? What the heck?
I think it's just women. I don't know, because I'm the same way.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, Janet says, get the salt. And she's doing 4 things and kicking the cabinet closed with her foot.
Yeah.
And then I said, did you say get the salt?
Or you go towards the salt and pepper and you're like,
salt.
Okay,
What did you say?
I come
Which one
over
did
here
you want for? Did you say salt? Because I saw this twinkly thing over here and I thought it was so pretty.
Yeah,
I walked up.
Or it's like, which salt? There's 4 salts. I don't know which one you want.
It's just unbelievable. All right, Nathaniel's son. Interesting information this morning, I think.
Well, yeah, this morning we're going to get to briefly discuss a topic that some of us may be familiar with, but it's one that actually has some serious benefits, not only to your home and yard, but also really to our environment. Now, before we write this off as something, because I know I can just default to writing off, environmental stuff, but there is some interesting statistics that I'm going to put in front of you about composting. Now, first of all, some of you may be wondering, what is composting? Well, the simple way to describe it is it's a process that converts organic materials like food scraps, yard waste, think of extra grass clippings, into really black dirt, a nutrient-rich soil through decomposition. Now, a little bit about the process. When organic material breaks down, it releases methane, and methane is extremely harmful to the atmosphere when it gets released. It's one of the most harmful elements that does get released. But why is composting beneficial? Well, if you can imagine, in the United States, each year, every person throws away about 340 pounds of food per year. So that's about a pound a day of food per person on average. Now, this has the same impact on the atmosphere as about 42 coal power plants. That's like 25% of all the coal power plants in the country.
Just in our throwaway food.
Now,
wow.
Right.
Wow.
Just from the food that we dispose. Now, furthermore, did you know that if one family composts for a year, it will actually offset the carbon emissions of one vehicle?
Yeah. Oh.
Now, before I knew all this, I wanted to try composting, and for anyone who has tried it, you know that it's actually not a simple process. But there are a lot of resources out there and a lot of incentives for doing so. So I encourage you to look online, go to the EPA's website of all places, and they have a lot of guidelines and recommendations for best practices.
Absolutely.
Plus your flowers will grow like
I'm
crazy.
looking at it now.
I
That's
mean,
right.
You get this stuff you can come through, and it's you get a cone or something. You can buy things that'll help the thing kind of do that. So, yeah, you should see how much I know about this.
Putting it on all of your plants, it's very nutrient-rich soil.
Yeah, and it's just a constant effort because you just go put it in the pile.
Right.
Yeah. No, it's good stuff.
And it requires some turning and some upkeep, but it's
not much.
It's a labor of love.
Once you get it going and drop it in the thing, and you just do the thing, and boom, my flowers are crazy good.
Awesome.
That's right.
That's awesome. Good stuff. Composting. Interesting. Nathaniel's son from Chicago. Safe travels down, my boy. I appreciate you.
All right. I'll see you this evening.
Okay, son. Thank you. Love you.
All right. Take care.
Good
That's
stuff
my son,
on
Nathaniel.
Did You Know around 7:50 on Thursday mornings.
Yep. Okay. You never know what we teach you on these early mornings.
You know, if I'm chopping up peppers or lettuce, and you know, you have the core and you have the seeds, and I put them in the right off my porch. I just throw them all off my porch, and it's gone the next day. Probably the squirrels.
Oh, I see.
But you know, I also don't want to attract.
Raccoons.
Exactly.
Yeah, gotta think
or
about that.
mice or whatever, and get them closer to my house with my pile.
Compost supposed to be way back there.
That's right.
And you have an area, and then you have a kind of. I think you do have these bins you could create.
That's right.
So it's and then you go do your flowers thing, and you got that. Why your geranium's so good?
But
kind of thing.
Yeah, and to me, if they're eating the pepper seeds and stuff like that, if they go number 2 somewhere else, maybe a pepper plant will grow.
Boom. 7:56. Okay, we got another hour to go here. ESPN 93.5. Not much in Illinois sports. The football is over. Basketball plays Saturday at 3.
Against Rutgers.
It's 4 Eastern, 3 Central. Rutgers, they have a place they call the Rack.
Yes.
And that tells you everything.
That's not official. That's a nickname. They have a sponsor on that, and we should know that.
Well, why should I care? Huh? They didn't pay me.
Okay.
The news coming up.
ILLINI. Cheer on the Illini at Pia's. The pregame fun starts at Pia's Sports Bar and Grill. Pia serves up its famous 10-ounce Slugger Burger along with great wings and so much more. Enjoy 350 22-ounce light and course light drafts every home and away Illini game. Watch the game at Pia's or ride the free shuttle to all home games. You'll find it all at Pia's with live video gaming, sports, food, drinks, and fun. See you at Pia's, West Springfield Avenue in Champaign.
Hi, it's Stevie Jay. So I took my mom into Audubell, owned by Jeff Hanley, who owns 13 locations around central Illinois. She's had so much trouble hearing for so long. Audubell, AUDIBEL, for hearing. And some of the new technologies, they've got AI now for some of these hearing aids, and they're virtually invisible. It's unbelievable, and it helped my mom. It helped her incredibly. We've been to other places. This is by far the best place I've ever been in for hearing help. Go to audibelteam.com. That's AUDIBEL. If you want more information about Audubell and how Jeff Hanley and his amazing culture and amazing team that they have, go to audibelteam.com. That's AUDIBEL, audibelteam.com. You'll be so happy you found Audubell. Amazing work. They got a location in Champaign. Go to audibelteam.com. That's audibelteam.com.
Make this holiday season truly magical. See Champaign-Urbana Ballet's The Nutcracker, November 30th through December 3rd. Presented in partnership with Krannert Center for the Performing Arts, Area-Wide Technologies, Bill Bass Foundation, Stone Ridge Dairy, Two Men in a Truck, and Champaign Ballet Academy. Tickets at the Krannert Center box office or cuballet.com. Experience the unforgettable story, music, and magic of CU Ballet's The Nutcracker.
Get the roof your home deserves by Roof Doctors, your residential roofing specialist that has always offered the best warranties in the industry, like our non-prorated 50-year warranty. Our customers love that we are family-owned and locally operated. We make our customer needs our top priority. With over 30 years experience and the best customer service, give Roof Doctors a call today for your free estimate at 328-7529. In your community and for your community, Roof Doctors.
Okay, going to break for the news. Be right back. Glad you're listening here. It is the last day of November.
Yeah.
So whatever you do on your last days of the month, you got to,
tend to that.
Get it done. 30th, 30 days November, 31 December.
This bad boy 2023 is almost over.
Almost done.
Oh, my goodness.
Okay, be right back. You're listening to WSJK ESPN 93.5 Tuscola, Champaign-Urbana, your home for the St. Louis Cardinals.
This might be George Santos's last full day in Congress. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News.
So if I am to get expelled tomorrow, I will be number 6 in the history, the first Republican and the only one without a conviction or without being part of or without having committed treason.
Congressman Santos has been indicted on campaign finance fraud charges after he lied to New York voters about his past before the election. Fox's Chad Perkin reports the expulsion vote tomorrow comes after a House ethics investigation led to
allegations that he basically bilked his campaign donors and then turned that campaign cash around and spent it on luxury items, a porn website, Botox treatments.
The ceasefire holds in Gaza, extended for what could be a final day, and Tal Heinrich, a spokesperson for Israel's prime minister, tells Fox.
Once Hamas stops releasing more hostages, we will stop the pause. We will resume the fighting. Hamas must be gone.
Secretary of State Antony Blinken has met with Israel's prime minister after a terror attack in Jerusalem. 2 gunmen linked to Hamas killed 3 people at a crowded bus stop this morning, injuring more than a dozen others until they were shot dead.
We're reminded yet again by the events in Jerusalem today of the threat from terrorism that Israel and Israelis face every single day.
Blinken is now meeting with the Palestinian president in the West Bank, where also today someone drove a vehicle into an Israeli checkpoint, injuring 2 soldiers. That person was shot. A UN climate change conference is underway with Vice President Harris joining world leaders in Dubai.
The United Arab Emirates is a country transformed by fossil fuel wealth, perhaps an unlikely place to talk about reducing reliance on oil, coal and gas.
Fox's Jonathan Savage. Now, a majority of countries at the summit finalized the creation of a fund to compensate countries dealing with climate change damages and loss. America's listening to Fox News.
Between global jihad, China, Russia, and our southern border, we are in for a long and protracted battle. You need to prepare for the worst. Protect your home, protect your family, and protect your investments. It's time to reach out to the Oxford Gold Group. They make it simple for whether you are buying more gold, diversifying your 401k, or buying gold for the first time. Call 833-995-GOLD or visit jessekellygold.com. That's jessekellygold.com.
Sometimes I struggle to get to sleep. My body stopped for the day, but my mind is still running. So I take ZzzQuil.
ZzzQuil, the world's #1 sleep aid brand, has a range of non-habit-forming products to fit you and your family's needs. Invest in a great night's sleep for the best you tomorrow.
I'm awake and ready to take on anything.
Better days start with ZzzQuil nights. Explore our products at ZzzQuil.com. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
He was a deep, extraordinary man. Russia's president is saying that about Henry Kissinger. China's leader calls him a good old friend, as even our adversaries are paying tribute to the former Secretary of State. Kissinger was there in that job under Presidents Nixon and Ford, and he died at age 100.
With his towering intellect and ruthless realpolitik, his dazzling shuttle diplomacy, and obsession with his own image, Henry Kissinger was perhaps the most gifted, admired, and reviled American diplomat of the 20th century.
There is no country in the world where it is conceivable that a man of my origins could be standing here next to the President of the United States.
A refugee from Hitler's Germany, Kissinger emigrated to the United States in 1938. After serving in Army counterintelligence in World War II, he earned 3 Harvard degrees. Kissinger's seminal 1957 book on nuclear strategy earned him consultancies to the Kennedy and Johnson White Houses. In Washington, Rich Edson, Fox News.
Japan is suspending flights of the Osprey aircraft, urging the U.S. to do the same there as the search continues at sea for 7 crew members on the American Air Force Osprey that crashed just off the Japanese coast. 1 was found dead. What is going on in China? And should we be worried about another illness from where COVID originated? Those are among the many questions the new CDC director faces at a House hearing in an hour.
The new chief of the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention is scheduled to give testimony before the House Energy and Commerce Committee. Dr. Mandy Cohen, who was tapped to lead the CDC by the Biden administration in July, is expected to answer questions on public trust of the agency and the plan to rebuild it, as well as its budget and recent CDC staffing reorganization.
That's Fox's Tanya J. Powers. We got an update on unemployment. First-time claims rose slightly last week to 218,000 on Wall Street. Stocks could rise. Dow futures up more than 200 points. I'm Dave Anthony, and this is Fox News.
Here's a look at local news. Students at a Muhammad grade school making sure families get what they need in time for the holidays. The Youth Leadership Club at Lincoln Trail Elementary working on a project called Packs of Joy. The project started in 2018 after fifth grader Joel Roberts passed away. They say students are already surpassing their goal of $9,000. Inmates at the Champaign County Jail will now be able to make phone calls at half the price. Current carrier has phone calls for 12 cents per minute, 15 cents per minute for 20-minute video calls. The new provider, Consolidated Telecom, will provide voice calls for only 5 cents a minute and remote video calls at 20 cents a minute. Illinois Department of Agriculture is bringing the Illinois Product Holiday Market back to downtown Springfield this weekend. The market takes place Friday through Sunday in the Y Block north of the Governor's Mansion. Holiday market featuring Illinois products including local eggnog, milk, and cheeses. A lot of fun for the holiday season underway. You're up to date from the Stevie Jay Broadcasting Newsroom. I'm John Miller.
Well, our meteorologist is Greg Solier, the learned one. I guess rain, but I'm not sure. I see it. Of course, downtown Philo's got bright sunshine, but I know it's approaching. Is that right? Is that kind of the...
Yeah, it's going to take a little while. The first, kind of vestiges of a couple of sprinkles, and they're not even maybe quite reaching the ground yet, or still way down towards maybe about Rolla, Missouri, Springfield, Missouri, north and east of the Ozarks. But it will be filling in down there over the next few hours. Again, beelining it up in our general direction. If you had to put an ETA on it, maybe a couple of sprinkles after, about 2 o'clock this afternoon, a little steadier patch or two of rain after about 3 or towards 4 this afternoon. So a good part of the day ought to be in relatively good order, and with some late November sunshine can still do wonders on temperatures without any snow cover around here. And what snow cover we had to the north and west of us is gone. They too, up across the western and northern Corn Belt, have enjoyed some milder days, and it's pretty much the way it goes around here, at or above average temperatures. And some days, as we get deeper into the early days of December, well above average around here. No real change back to some short-term cold weather until maybe the 10th or 15th of December. So enjoy it while you may. At 34, Willard and Savoy, 38, Danville, 34, Bloomington. Normal forecast high for the day today, 50-ish, with increasing thickening and lowering clouds. And again, a bit of rain breaking out from southwest to northeast mid to late afternoon. Rainy tonight, down to 40. Rainy tomorrow morning. The rain tapers off to a couple of showers in the afternoon tomorrow, 47 and dropping with the southeast wind shifting westerly. We actually need some rain. We're getting a little dry around the edges here on this morning's drought monitor. Down to tomorrow night to about 38, little rain and drizzle early on, and there may be a few sprinkles, a little mist in the air Saturday morning. Clouds stick around, hopefully a little sun for the big get-together later in the day. 47 the expected high. That's not bad for a Saturday in late November. Yeah. That's early December by then.
Yeah.
December 2nd, then 48 Sunday, 45 Monday. We're heading towards 45 to 50 Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday next week. Yeah, maybe a little rain Sunday, sprinkles, and maybe a couple sprinkle again on Tuesday. For Stevie Jay Broadcasting, I'm meteorologist Greg Solier.
All right, thank you very much. Jody Harmon, Developmental Services Center. Jody, good morning.
Good morning.
Nice to have you on, DSC. I'm a big fan of Developmental Services Center. Open house for the Crow. You're going to have to explain that one to me. What do you got?
Sure. The Crow at 110 is a program that DSC has that supports local artists that we supported DSC, and it's a way for them to maybe have a non-traditional employment in making different handmade crafts. So they make handmade soap, candles, wax melts. This year they are having some new unique wood decorations that you can, holiday wood decorations. So it's a way for those individuals that we support that may want more of a non-traditional or entrepreneurial way to express themselves than having just a regular job in the community.
I'm interested in this, Jody. Do you help the clientele with this artistic maneuvers, and then, or do they work at the Crow to create these artistic things? How does that work?
They do. So everything that they do are their interests. So they bring the ideas to the staff at DSC, and then the staff helps them make it a realization for them.
Nice.
I think it's awesome, and I think people should go and buy these, right? I mean, go do it.
It is. It's really exciting. So this Sunday on December 3rd, they're having a holiday open house at the storefront that they have, which is at 110 East University Avenue in Champaign. It's from 11 to 5, and I'm telling you, if you are looking for some unique items to give as holiday gifts or even just some stuff for yourself, you will not leave there empty-handed.
That's awesome.
That's over by the Dallas and Company, essentially off First and University, right?
Exactly. Across the street from there, yes.
And imagine how the artist feels if something sells. That's so cool.
Absolutely.
That's pretty exciting. All right, what about Tree of Hope? How's that going?
I wanted to say one other thing. The artists will be there, so you'll be able to meet them and learn more about how they made some of these items. But yes, we have officially kicked off the Tree of Hope. I heard you talking earlier. It is the last day of November. Can you believe it? And we're here. The Tree of Hope is kicked off. It's our 30th Tree of Hope campaign. So we're so excited to share the story about the Etheridge family, which has been out on social media. You should have received your brochure in the mail. We would love to have your support this year at DSC.
Awesome. And it goes through January, but I think this is a great idea for end of the year giving too. And DSC-Illinois.org has more details.
Of course, yes. You can find more details on our website. If you go to the fundraisers tab, you can find Tree of Hope. You can read their story there. And yes, definitely, end of the year giving. It is the season of giving right now, and we just capped off a wonderful Giving Tuesday campaign that we had on Tuesday, and had some wonderful donations towards the Tree of Hope. We are looking forward to hopefully meeting our $230,000 goal this year.
That's a big one. But good luck with that,
it's
Jody.
A big one. Yeah, we're excited.
Well, keep up your good work with Developmental Services Center. Jody Harmon, thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Again, DSC-Illinois.org for details.
All right, we jump to morning sports here at 8:12 on ESPN 93.5.
You know, Stevie, we hadn't talked about Isaiah Williams and the All Big Ten Conference making him a first team, and that's the 7th Illini wide receiver to get such an honor. The last one you may recognize is A.J. Jenkins back in 2011.
Yep.
I know Dave Williams also on the list. So it's 262 yards. I think Isaiah Williams with 214 receiving yards. So honorable mentions for John Paddock and Caden Fagan too. So go Illini. And I know that they're doing a lot of recruiting. We were hearing at the beginning of the month about some of the football players who are committing. Our Illinois basketball team, we mentioned at the Rack in New Jersey against Rutgers at 3 o'clock on Saturday. And we also talked about some of the contenders like North Carolina beating Tennessee. North Carolina 17, Tennessee number 10 on this week's college basketball poll. 100-92 was the final yesterday, but we have Tennessee coming up on Saturday the 9th. And we're taking note of number 10, Florida Atlantic. That game coming up on Tuesday the 5th at 5:30. So they've been ranked number 10. So anyway, it's interesting for the Illini to have so many big contenders coming up.
Yeah, good preseason with Marquette and Florida Atlantic and Tennessee, and of course Missouri has owned us. We got to beat Missouri too on December 22nd, and then we're getting the Big Ten full time January 2nd against Northwestern here. So, and the kids will be out. So, and I think Michigan State comes in before the students come back too.
That's right. So we had Illinois over Central Connecticut State. 89-50 in women's basketball yesterday, 4-2 on the season. Next up will be Northern Kentucky at 6 o'clock on Wednesday the 6th as we host Adalia McKenzie with her 8th 20-point game, perfect in the first half, 4 steals. Kendall Bostic, a season-high 18, double digits before the half. The Illini are looking good under the realm of Shauna Green. Illinois, Parkland College also at 8-0 on the season, beating Olney Central College 82-62 yesterday. And Milliken keeps winning thanks to Elise Knutson from Philo as a great score for that team. NFL action has Seattle and Dallas tonight. Aaron Rodgers has returned to practice. Yeah, you thought the Achilles tendon was going to keep him out after that injury on the first game of the season, but who knows? He might be back.
They're not going to bring him back unless the Jets can win a football game without him, because you don't bring him back if they don't have a chance at the playoffs. Why would you risk that?
Okay.
And I, he's been tossing the ball whether he can actually do this. Nobody else has.
The Jets just needed a little press, so why not bring him back to practice? Because everybody follows him everywhere.
Oh, my gosh. It's unbelievable. Aaron Rodgers has just left the restroom, ladies and gentlemen.
Exactly.
We're not sure what happened, but he's back, and there he is again, and he put a hat on, and that's a unique-looking hat. It looks like his hair has gotten a little longer, and has he shaved in the last month? I don't know.
That's where we're at.
It's fascinating how much coverage.
Pacers in Miami tonight at 6:30. Milwaukee Bucks in Chicago to face the Bulls at 7. That's sports. I'm Diane Ducey.
Short-term market fluctuations can be unnerving for everyone. A proven way to tune out the noise and focus on long-term investment goals is to adhere to a well-constructed investment plan. This is Eric Boland with Provident Financial Group. If you don't have a plan in place, we can help create one designed specifically for you. Call us today for a complimentary consultation. Contact us at 217-366-3456 or find us online at providentfinancialgroupllc.com.
Securities and advisory services offered through Commonwealth Financial Network, member FINRA, SIPC, a registered investment advisor.
From computer systems to brakes and tires too, at PDR, fixing cars is what they do. Remember, when you turn the key and the car won't run, call 367-9481 or use their dedicated text-only line at 383-0619. Additional information, including repair quotes and online scheduling requests, available from the website at pdrauto.com. Remember, they are what's best for your truck or car. They are PDR.
Tapman's Towing, team of experienced tow professionals, is seeking others with CDLs, previous tow experience, and or strong interest in serving others. Please visit our career page at tapmanstowing.com.
Don't miss your chance to cheer on Fighting Illini basketball this season.
Deafening in here, 15,000, another shutout.
We need all of Illini Nation to help us defend State Farm Center.
And Illinois overcomes their largest deficit of the season.
Great seat locations are still available for you to see Illinois basketball live this season.
The Illini win it!
Get your tickets today at fightingillini.com.
I'm Justin Ike, co-owner of Fred's Plumbing, Heating, Air Conditioning, Electric, and Underground.
So, Justin, tell me what you see as typical when it comes to sewer repair. Give me a scenario.
Your sewer's backed up and somebody comes along and says, you need this repair for X amount of dollars. Here's my price. And you don't think to go looking for another company or a second opinion because you don't feel like you have time.
So is it possible that you might get charged a little more because it's kind of a desperate moment? Do some companies do that?
Oh, absolutely they will. They know you're in a pinch. Typically, if you call us, me or Will can be out there within an hour to look at that problem for you. Whether you call me first or you call me second, make sure you give me a call.
Anything else, Justin?
You can always trust Fred's.
Great to know. Thank you. That's Justin Ike, the co-owner of Fred's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning, Electric, and Underground. If you want more information about this great 45-year family-owned company, just go to fredscu.com. That's fredscu.com. All right, let's check your weather, brought to you by Carl.
Carl reminds you 1 in 5 people in the United States don't know they have diabetes, a common health complication that shouldn't stop you from living the life you want. You can learn more about prevention and management at carl.org.
Logan everyone, let's check weather for East Central Illinois, Champaign-Urbana Vicinity, and a nice way to wind out this month of November. Welcome in December with a mild go of it and liquid precipitation. No real winter on the maps and charts here for the foreseeable future. Up close to and around 50 for the high today with increasing clouds and a bit of rain breaking out this afternoon. Gusty south wind, widespread rains across the area for tonight through tomorrow morning. They'll taper in the early afternoon after 3/4 of an inch out there. Temperatures to about 40 tonight.
47 and turning a bit colder tomorrow afternoon as winds shift around into the west-northwest. A little bit of drizzle early tomorrow night and a low down to 38, and some of that drizzle could linger into the early morning hours of Saturday, mostly cloudy 47, upper 40s on Sunday, a couple of sprinkles early and late, 45 on Monday. Tuesday, again, a couple of sprinkles around at 45 degrees for the high, winds close to 50 degrees. Next Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, fair amount of sunshine and gusty winds too. For Stevie Jay Broadcasting, I'm meteorologist Greg Soldier.
Yeah, look at it this way. 2 mornings ago, it was 20 degrees colder than it is right now.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a good thing. How about that? Last day in November, we're going to talk Sydney Hometown Christmas. That's coming up this Saturday. We'll do that with Mike Roy here in a second. We're going to get your Fox Business Minute first. And we're glad you're listening. Always reach us at 217-359-2255 on the text line if you have stuff to add or say or something we say that you want to react to. You're welcome to do it. 8:20. We'll be right back.
I'm Neil Cavuto, and this is the Fox Business Report.
We just got the latest read on how our economy did this summer. It grew at a 5.2% annual pace. This second estimate tops the first read of growth at 4.9%. And an agreement's been reached over toxic forever chemicals. Chemours, DuPont, and Corteva have agreed to pay the state of Ohio $110 million to resolve claims associated with toxic forever chemicals. Chemours said it would be responsible for half of the settlement costs, while DuPont would provide about $39 million to resolve the claims relating to the release of per- and polyfluoroalkyl substances, or PFAS, from the company's facilities. Chemical makers have faced thousands of lawsuits in recent years over contamination by PFAS, which can be found in the blood of most Americans. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Lillian Wu, invested in you.
I'm Charles Payne. Listen to my Unstoppable Prosperity podcast so I can get you making money right now. 35 years on Wall Street taught me how to successfully invest in the stock market. In my 4-part series, I'm going to teach you too. Some of Fox Business's finest join me to help tell my story, impart crucial lessons from my Unstoppable Prosperity book, and to give you the tools to achieve your own financial dreams.
Listen anytime, everywhere at foxbusinesspodcast.com or wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts.
I hear all Christian music and all Christmas music right now on 95.3.
Yes.
I love that.
Christian FM 95.3, inspiring and uplifting. Yep. I love it.
I was in a car at Sarah Champagne yesterday, and I'll be darned if that's the button that was programmed. 95.3.
Yes.
So we appreciate that.
That's what we need to do is go to the car lot and
Yeah.
just pre-program all the Stevie J broadcasting
Exactly.
stations, including Q96, our top 40 station, and my country station, US 105.9.
Well, we could do that. It'd just be weird to test drive 400 cars.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah. That would be a little tricky.
This one, how about this one? Can I? Sir, you've been here 12 hours.
Exactly.
Right. Sarah Champagne let me do it because that's how good they are. So. Sydney Hometown Christmas. Mike Roy, how are you?
Wonderful. How are you all doing today?
It works at Good Vibes.
Yeah.
Day job. Things are popping at Good Vibes.
Big TVs. The bigger, the better.
I know, man, and cheaper. It's just the numbers.
You got room for an 85-inch right up here.
We could do that.
You know how
man.
good that would look up there?
I would just stare at it.
And you could hang it, Mike.
Yeah, and you wouldn't
could
get
hang
anything
it.
done.
Yeah,
We'd
we
hang
can-
it, yeah.
yeah,
I don't care if it's plaster. We'll hang it.
Let's go get some blinds in here and have a little theater.
Yeah.
There
you go.
Mike Roy. All right, Sydney Hometown Christmas. Talk to me about this Saturday, what you're doing.
Well, this is a yearly event that the Sydney Improvement Group does each year for people in Sydney and around the area. You know, it always starts with a great breakfast down at the Sydney United Church, a donation breakfast down there. And I mean, pancakes, sausage, biscuits, and gravy. Big homemade cinnamon rolls.
Yeah.
You can't beat that. I mean,
I went to that
I'm
farmer's
starving already.
Exactly. I went to the farmer's breakfast at the off the Sydney slab. It starts with a C.
Countryside
Church.
United. Yeah.
And they had the biscuits and gravy and cinnamon rolls. I don't know who's doing that, but it is out of the park.
Oh, it's great stuff.
Fantastic.
I mean, homemade stuff. They don't mess around there on that one. So
that's awesome.
But yeah, that's always a good thing. 8 to 10 o'clock down there, and then Shop at Home. That's been a yearly event down at the new Sydney Community Building. Starts at 10 o'clock till 3. All kinds of vendors down there. You can put your name in a box for to win $25 cash every hour. They pull out somebody. $25 cash. There you go.
I love that idea.
What's wrong with that?
Nothing.
Man.
Free money.
And you can spend it right there.
You can spend it right there. It's
get
cash.
Some terrific gifts.
Vendors love cash. And got food truck this year. The Heartbox food truck, and Traveling Tom's a new coffee truck from the Kona Ice people.
Yes, we had it here
Good
for
stuff.
the Christmas parade in Philo, and that was a big hit.
Good
With the
stuff.
hot cocoa and the hot coffee drinks. And
That'll be perfect.
It was terrific. So
That'll be
thank you
perfect.
for getting those options for us.
Oh,
The
yeah.
parade, my Unity, it used to be Donna Hooker. Is it Donna Williams now?
Donna Hooker. Donna's
Okay.
still doing it. She's
Excellent.
doing all the organizing for that. That's at 5:00 and runs through downtown. And get your bags ready because there'll be candy thrown all over the place. You got to have candy.
Come on, man.
You got to have candy. And then if you go downtown, Mary Beth Farms is going to be back again this year for free carriage rides.
Wow.
Who
Love
doesn't
it.
like a free carriage ride? Now, I will warn you, slots filled up quickly.
Yes.
But the rides, they're scheduled for 10 minutes. They usually take about 7. Come down, get your name on the list.
Okay.
They'll work you in, and they're there 4 hours. I mean, it's just a cool little thing. And I wish we could get just a light covering of snow for that. That would be just the ice cream topper, you know. But we
We'll
take what we get. Yep. we'll
And
take what we get.
when it comes to the taverns, you've got the Sydney Saloon and then the Vault. Is it?
Winston's Old Bank.
Winston's Old Bank.
Yep,
That's
come
it.
down there and visit there. Santa Claus is going to be at the Sydney Community Library, so he's gonna sneak in. We don't know which door he's coming in, but he's sneaking in.
Okay, good.
Sydney American Legion Post is going to have a warming center. Basically, you can go in there for cookies and hot chocolate and
Okay.
warm up, or while you're waiting on the ride. So
Nice.
it's a good time. Just come down in the morning. Then bundle up the kids and come down in the afternoon for the parade and get your carriage ride.
Okay, sounds awesome. Now, one thing that we're doing here in Philo at the Frank Center or Philo Gym between 9 and 11 is our breakfast with Santa.
Right.
So I was recommending people stop in there and then they go on down to
Make the
Sydney.
rounds.
And again, that 5:00 parade will be fun at Donna Williams. It's Donna Hooker.
Donna Hooker.
Okay, sorry. When I went to Unity with her, class
Sure.
of 85.
Class of 85.
Exactly. And it's great to have such a great volunteer group, Sydney
Sure.
Improvement Group. In case people want to step up and volunteer, you're always encouraging that.
You betcha. Just go to the Facebook, to the Sydney Improvement Group page. Always looking for volunteers and new ideas, and we're looking to have a good day. The weather's going to be good.
Yeah.
Greg's giving us good weather
You
for
betcha.
Saturday. You can't beat it.
Can't beat it at all. Mike Roy, we appreciate you coming out explaining Sydney Hometown Christmas. We hope people can get to Sydney anytime Saturday, 8 a.m. to 9:30 p.m. So you pick a time, go out and have some fun with the kids. It'd be really fun.
You betcha.
And one thing we're doing for Tolono Fun Day next week on the 9th is a similar agenda with a lot of the artisans and vendors and things like that, and different stops at churches around town, and the library's doing model trains. And we also have Mary Beth Farms with their carriage rides. We're adding on a ugly sweater bar crawl after
Oh,
our
boy.
tree lighting ceremony.
Oh, boy.
with
Put the cameras away.
5 tamarins around town.
Pull out my best sweater and you call that ugly? Come on.
It is what it is.
What, people wear sweaters anymore?
I mean, especially
For
the
special
ugly
events like
sweaters.
this.
Okay, but I'm just wondering because I used to wear sweaters all the time. I can't remember the last
There's
time I
websites with ugly sweaters.
Yes,
Okay.
and
It's
it's
not
really
pretty.
it's really funny.
Yeah, I bet it
Not
is. But I
pretty.
bet people just pull out stuff they wore in the 80s or something, right?
Maybe.
Wouldn't be hard.
That's right. Mike Roy, thanks for running by, Bubba.
All right, good to see y'all.
Good to see you. Mike Roy, it again, Sydney, Hometown Christmas Saturday. ESPN 93.5.
Local, personal, trusted. Hi, this is Todd Durakan with First Federal Savings Bank of Champaign-Urbana, and we've been serving Champaign County since 1908. Our institution is safe, strong, and stable. We operate on a foundation of responsible and sound practices, and you can rest easy knowing we're your bank. Rated 5-star superior by Bauer Financial Inc., fast, friendly, and local, with local loan decisions and underwriting. If you're not already banking with us, give us a try, and we think you'll love it here. First Federal Savings Bank, 356bank.com, member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender, NMLS 435120.
Always a pleasure to talk about Donnie up in Long Branch Steakhouse there in beautiful downtown Gifford. Well, you know what, friends? It's never too early to make your Christmas party reservations at the Long Branch Steakhouse in Gifford. They are taking party reservations for December. Dates are filling up quickly. Don't be left out this year. If you want a fabulous night at the Long Branch for your office party, get it done now. Connect with the Long Branch Steakhouse and book your Christmas party. Long Branch Steakhouse, beautiful downtown Gifford.
This is Eric Boland with Provident Financial Group. Unfortunately, there is no one-size-fits-all retirement plan. Finding the right plan for you depends on many factors. The good news is we can help improve your retirement readiness, whatever your situation. Contact us today at 217-366-3456 or find us online at providentfinancialgroupllc.com.
Securities and advisory services offered through Commonwealth Financial Network, member FINRA, SIPC, a registered investment advisor.
There's an inviting holiday chill waiting for you at your local Merle Norman. The Holiday 2023 Color Collection is available now, featuring a gift-worthy Opal Eyes palette filled with 9 limited editions soft touch shadows. Pair your palette with 3 shades of crisp candy cane scented tinted lip balm, including a neutral cashmere cream, a dimensional plum shimmer, and a red sangria cream. Shop holiday limited editions while supplies last. Merle Norman, 706 West Marketview Drive.
All right, got a break for the news, weather, sports, all coming in our back half hour. Good to have you listening here on ESPN 93.5. And we shall return every guest on the Tapman's Towing phone line. We appreciate them. And again, this is the last day of November, so whatever you got to do, there's always year in, month in, there's all that coming up. Then we're into December. You know how fast this is going to go. You got stuff to do, and all of a sudden we're looking at great weather for the next 10 days. I mean, we might be 10th or 15th, he said, of December. This shortens the winter, friends. Every day you can inch through November and December means January, February, and March madness. Come on, man. We'll be back. It is 8:30.
Fox News. I'm Chris Foster. New York House Republican George Santos, he's facing a vote tomorrow that could make him the 6th ever member of the House to be expelled. It's not going quietly.
Because if I leave, they win. If I leave, the bullies take place. This is bullying.
Santos faces criminal charges, including fraud, and a House Ethics Committee report finds overwhelming evidence of criminality. He says he's introducing a resolution to expel New York Democrat Jamal Bowman. He pleaded guilty of a misdemeanor for pulling a fire alarm in a House office building just before a vote. Former Secretary of State Henry Kissinger died 100 years old.
I think we can look back to all this turmoil as the birth pangs of a more creative and better system.
That was in 1975. Kissinger was 15 years old when his family fled Nazi Germany in 1938 and moved to New York City. He won a controversial Nobel Peace Prize in 1973 for negotiating a ceasefire in Vietnam that did not last. America's listening to Fox News.
Here's a look at local news. Illinois releasing preliminary totals for the first weekend of the Illinois firearm deer hunting season. Between November 17th and the 19th, hunters in the state harvesting 53,348 deer. That's slightly less than the same period last year. Awards are starting to roll in for Illinois defensive tackle Jerzon Newton. He was named the Nagurski-Woodson Big Ten Defensive Player of the Year and the Smith-Brown Big Ten Defensive Lineman of the Year. He is the 4th Illini in history to earn the Big Ten Defensive Player of the Year award. The junior led Power 5 defensive tackles and quarterback pressures for the 2nd straight year. Illinois Department of Agriculture will bring the Illinois Product Holiday Market back to downtown Springfield this weekend. Market takes place Friday through Sunday on the Y Block north of the Governor's Mansion. Holiday Market will feature Illinois products, including local eggnog, milk, and cheeses. You're up to date from the Stevie Jay Broadcasting Newsroom. I'm Jim Miller.
Wind shift to the west-northwest. The rain and drizzle wind down. Hello again, everyone. Let's check weather for East Central Illinois, Champaign-Urbana, and vicinity, and another pleasant day's worth of weather regarding temperatures back into play. But as the afternoon wears on, a bit of rain will be breaking out. Some early to mid-morning sunshine, otherwise increasing cloudiness will head towards about 50, even a little milder south of Champaign County, and a gusty south wind. Widespread rains across the area for tonight, lows near 40. For the day tomorrow, December 1st, turning colder just a bit, 47 and dropping. Periods of rain for the morning through the early afternoon in particular, as wind shift to the west-northwest. The rain and drizzle wind down tomorrow night, low down to 38, and maybe a little drizzle in spots down here come early to mid-morning on Saturday, mostly cloudy afternoon, still up to about 47 degrees there, 48, and a couple of sprinkles around on Sunday, Monday up to 45, maybe a little shower activity on Tuesday, highs again at around 45 degrees, we'll inch close to 50 degrees next Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Mild weather with us here through about the first 10 days, 12 days of the month of December. For Stevie Jay Broadcasting, I'm meteorologist Greg Solier.
Here's what one shopper said about Pard's Western Shop in Urbana, 306 North Maple, between Main and University. He said, sure, you can find boots at some big box stores, but nothing like Pard's selections. They're unique, they're local, and they have an excellent store. So many people that visit Pard's in Urbana say the same thing. Pards in Urbana, 306 North Maple. You can find the best boots in the world and shop local. Visit pards.com, pards.com.
Everybody needs insurance, and that's why I love Kyle Lewis at Insurance Providers Group. This is Jay Lehman, All-American linebacker. Kyle provides auto, life, health, and all kinds of commercial lines of insurance. They are my one-stop shop for all my insurance needs, and all my rental properties are insured by IPG. That's why you need to email Kyle at IPGINS.com. Kyle at IPGINS.com.
All right, ESPN 93.5, 25 before 9 o'clock. And again, beautiful weather. Rain coming here for the next couple of days on and off, but the temperatures way more friendly. And Greg says, as you just heard, mild start to December, which is always easier to move around. I always think the snowbirds, when I, younger, are thinking, man, why do they leave? Now I think they're geniuses.
Yes.
Because just softer weather is easier. It is. I guess that just happens when you get a little bit older. You're just thinking, I'd take 80. I'd take 5. I'd take 50, 60.
Absolutely.
It's just the demographics of it all. So anyway, big debate, I guess. Fox News is sure hitting it pretty hard. Ron DeSantis and Gavin Newsom, the governor of Florida and governor of California, and they're going to have a debate tonight. And I guess it's a little gimmicky because I don't understand the point, except that back when this was kind of the thing, when he interviewed Gavin Newsom, Sean Hannity interviewed Gavin Newsom, he wasn't afraid to take on Ron DeSantis, who at the time was kind of a leading candidate. The thought process was, Ron DeSantis, Florida. Well, since his numbers have really not been there, and very little chance that Ron DeSantis it will be the Republican nominee outside Trump and now Nikki Haley. So I don't know. I know they're pushing it pretty hard, and they got a guy down in Florida. Lawrence Jones is down in Georgia, rather, getting ready for this debate. And what is they're not going to be the candidate, so it's a gimmick. Kind of let's just see two leading governors and they'll debate because they said they would and they're going to go after each other. Entertainment, sport, undercard, because it looks like Biden-Trump is what everybody says, although I'm very hesitant to think that's going to stick. I just don't know. And apparently Kamala Harris is your next president. If Joe Biden steps down today, it'd be Kamala. They're all in on her, so we will see. The Democratic Party is worried because the polling is not coming out as they like, and it looks like Donald Trump would beat Joe Biden if the election were held today. And so that's kind of the picture, but I'm not going to see any of that.
And this is less than a year out now.
It is, and there might not be any presidential debates for the first time in a long, long time, probably since Kennedy-Nixon, because A, Joe Biden can't, and B, they might not want to. Just kind of, they've got to come up with some.
Well, and the legal stuff on Trump's end.
Yeah, I mean, he's not afraid to talk about that. The Trump voter is like, whatever you convict me of, they think this is a kangaroo court thing. And the people that hate Trump think this is totally legit. And it's totally using the powers of government against your political opponent. I don't think there's any question a whole lot of that is. You had an attorney general run on campaign on I'll get Trump. That's not what we do in America. You don't go get somebody based on evidence and all this stuff. It is totally political, and you don't want that. Republicans or Democrats, you can't politicize our institutional things, our controls in place. And you also got to remember that I'm in charge. Diane Ducey's in charge. It's the people. We, the people, are in charge of the people we send. It's not the other way around, and yet we've kind of drifted to that power of wear a mask, get a vaccine, or else lockdown. I mean, okay, that's not what we want to do. And so there's just a whole lot of those things going on. Control, power. That there's thoughts there that they're just doing this for control. I want to see how high you're going to jump when I tell you to jump. Well, they do that in China. We don't do that here. There's too many, I think, fiber of independence here that'll still hopefully last. But it certainly is changing and has changed and has the attention of a whole lot of Americans that never thought anything about politics.
We got a text into 217-359-2255 talking about if you watch Gavin Newsom style, he'll talk over his opponent and then laugh at him when he's correct. And he's just kind of arrogant and smug.
Well, he's
in
slick,
that debate
though.
process.
He's very slick and very good looking and very amiable and he'll agree with some points. And so you agree. But I also heard him say everybody ought to be doing what California's doing. What?
Okay.
I mean, what happened to San Francisco where he used to be the mayor of San Francisco? Is the time to visit would have been when President Xi from China was there.
Yeah.
That's when you got...
When they cleaned house.
Oh, man. I'm sure...
And you didn't step in any doo-doo on the sidewalks from the homeless population.
It is a tragedy what's happening to some of these humans on all the drugs, and they don't know where they are. And it's just horrible, and they're letting tent cities in L.A.
I know.
You know, you don't think about the vermin that come with that kind of thing.
Yep.
There's 12 million new rats in L.A.
Ugh.
It's horrible. You got diseases. You got stuff happening that we don't have because you don't get to do that.
Mm-hmm.
We have sanitary system, and you don't get to go to the bathroom in the street. So it's until you get what you tolerate. The great Mike Dicta used to tell us every day, you get what you tolerate. And if you tolerate crime, if you tolerate an open border, you're going to get what that consequence is. And that's why I was up in arms about anti-police stuff 7 or 8 years ago. I said, what's going to be the result of that? You're gonna force them to back down, and we're going to have more crime. But I didn't think I was very smart in concluding that. If you diss the people that are supposed to keep law and order and tie their hands behind their back, I don't know. I mean, 15 years ago, I met a police officer on the golf course. He said, nobody in the city of Chicago will ever chase anybody again because the guy will hurt his shoulder. They'll sue the city, and the city will settle. It's unbelievable. Their morale was zero 15 years ago. You know, it's just not working, and we've got to understand that we don't like this carjacking craze. I mean, that's just going crazy. People just stealing your car physically with weapons.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just definitely things have changed, and so we've got to be aware of your surroundings all the time. I mean, you need to be kind of like detective-like, looking around your shoulders and things like that, because these people come up from behind you too. Anyway, it's disconcerting, and we'll see what happens and see if we make a change here in the next year in some of our political stuff.
Another trending story about Henry Kissinger, I guess known in the Cold War negotiations and things like that, really doing things as far as international diplomacy for America, right?
Well, the news just had that he, brokered this peace with Vietnam, and it didn't hold, but he got the Nobel Peace Prize for it. So I remember his name all over the news. He was the Secretary of State for Richard Nixon and then Gerald Ford when Richard Nixon resigned, but definitely a prominent political figure, certainly into the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
But
the Peace Prize was in 1973 for that involvement in the Vietnam War.
And Richard Nixon, I remember in 68, got in there pretty easily and then dominated in 72, predominantly saying we're getting out of Vietnam. And we talked a lot about John Kennedy's assassination last week when that was the 60th anniversary. And Kennedy was on video talking about he didn't know what the heck you're going to get out of being in Vietnam. But yet Lyndon Johnson was all for it. Kennedy assassinated. Lyndon Johnson led us to Vietnam, which led to all that.
Yeah.
I mean, he was talking about 27 soldiers have died. John Kennedy said this to Walter Cronkite in 1961 or 2 or 3. Or no, 63 is right before he died. He said, I don't see, we've lost 27 people. Well, we lost 56,000 in the Vietnam War. So it was just, you never know, I guess. But John Kennedy was not really for the Vietnam War based on some of the credible interviews I heard that made sense to me. 843, how things have changed.
Yeah.
John Kennedy looks like a Republican except for his social stuff. But his whole tax cuts and things that John Kennedy advocated for would never fly today in the Democratic Party. All right, 843.
Curtis Orchard with You Pick 'em Apples. Randy tells us more.
We grow about 31 different varieties of apples, and there are a lot of new varieties. When we started, you still had this sort of standard old favorites, Gold Delicious, Red Delicious, Jonathan, a few other varieties that were lesser known. But now the apple industry has become much more gourmet in its taste and selectivity, and the apple breeders have become much more experimental experimental in what they try and what they find works. It's not like genetic modification, but it's more like they look for really obscure varieties to cross with one another. Came up with the Honeycrisp apple. And there's another one that isn't as well known, but it's done very well for us, and that's called Zestar. We call it a cousin to the Honeycrisp because it has one of the parents, but it has a little different flavor, a little different season to it. But those types of apples didn't exist really 30 years ago.
Curtis Orchard open 9 to 6, 11 to 6 on Sundays. CurtisOrchard.com.
Stevie Jay here. With Nate Evans of eXp Realty, you'll always get a stress-free sale for the most money.
Sell your home with Nate. Pick the price, pick the day. Go to theNateEvansGroup.com.
Yeah, you got a pro-Palestinian issue for the Democrats as well because they stormed the tree lighting. Which
Yes.
is a good thing. To
Rockefeller Plaza
storm
yesterday.
with swastikas claiming Israel
Right.
is the Nazi.
Derailing the annual tree lighting, it says here, waving the Palestinian flags and signs calling for the end of genocide and chanting "River to the Sea,"
Which is genocide of the Israelis.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. So again, if for folks you don't understand this issue about occupation, you could legitimately say America should vacate, and so should every other country in the world because somebody was there before they got there. Back in the day, there was conquest, and that happened. So what do you do with that? So 300 years ago, somebody had this country before you, so you got to go. It just doesn't make a lot of sense. And so the occupation of Israel, I mean, this has been going about 2,000 years. But since World War II, when they said this is what it's going to look like. So they call it an occupation, but it's not like, okay, you take this, I take that. They've tried that, but now it's essentially you've got to die. Israel has to die. You don't have a right to exist. They had to argue for their right to exist. What are you guys talking about? So how do you negotiate? They want me dead. Okay, could we do a slow death? Or you want to do a fast death? It's just, what are you talking about? You can't just do that. Well, you did that to us. Okay. I don't know how you negotiate stuff like that. Okay, 846, 217-359-2255. You're always welcome to text. Let's check your sports.
Our Illini women's basketball team over Central Connecticut State, 89-50 yesterday. Dahlia McKenzie, her 8th 20-point game, perfect in the first half, 4 steals. We had a season high for Kendall Bostic, double digits before the half. Next up for our Illini women's basketball team, 4-2 on the season, is on Wednesday the 6th at 6 against Northern Kentucky. Our Illini men will be in New Jersey to face Rutgers at 3 o'clock on Saturday, and they've got some big contenders coming up. I know Arkansas beat number 7 Duke 80-75. Number 17 North Carolina took it down. Number 10 Tennessee 192. Tennessee is who will play next Saturday the 9th, and Florida Atlantic will be coming up for us. They've been ranked number 10. That game at 5:30 on Tuesday the 5th. Virginia beat ranked number Texas A&M 59-47. As far as pro basketball, tonight the Pacers are at Miami and Milwaukee is in Chicago. As we say, go Bulls and root for Io. Seems like averaging about 15 minutes and about 5 points per game. Thursday night NFL action will feature Seattle and the Dallas Cowboys. We also had women's basketball to report with Parkland 8-0 on the season after beating only Central College yesterday. And as far as all Big Ten team action, we had on the first team, Isaiah Williams got the tap yesterday, 114 career receptions, and that compares 214 career receptions. David Williams was on the top of the Illini list with 262 career receptions.
So if Isaiah were to come back, which he could, he would pass David Williams as the all-time leading.
Absolutely.
Remember, he came as the quarterback, so he's just been learning the position, so that's pretty impressive.
Been watching some trending stories here in the studio at ESPN 93.5, and I'm seeing a lot of clips of Aaron Rodgers returning to practice yesterday. Will he be part of the end of the season? Is this great?
I mean, it's pretty remarkable the coverage that man gets.
It is.
He is really, really good at that. But I don't think he comes back. Again, the Jets have to be in some sort of contention. You don't bring a guy back quickly from Achilles tear to quarterback a losing team. Maybe they'll win Saturday and give a hope of I just can't believe he could do it. Nobody's been able to do this. So I'm not sure when he gets in game action and there's these 300-pound guys chasing him. Yeah. I mean, he's 40-something years old.
Right.
I would save the guy till next year and try and get a good season out of him because obviously, healthy Aaron Rodgers kind of changes the dynamic of any team for sure.
39, by the way.
39 coming up on the 40.
Mm-hmm.
Tom Brady played till he was 45.
Yeah, that's right.
Amazing. 8:49. Check Greg's weather one more time. Coming up.
Hi, I'm Champaign County Clerk Aaron Ammons. Voting is a civic duty and responsibility that I work every day to protect and enhance as your county clerk. You have a choice to vote in person or by mail. The data shows that vote by mail is the most efficient way to vote. There are many reasons why, and here are a few. Instead of using your tax dollars for physical space and buying more election equipment, vote by mail allows us to reduce election costs. VBM increases overall voter turnout, and there's no need to schedule time off work or find transportation to cast your ballot. Just follow the step-by-step guidance we mail to you, fill out your ballot, and mail it back to our office. It's that easy. If you use one of the drop boxes located throughout the county, there's no charge for postage. Other states have universal VBM elections, and they see the savings and higher voter turnout we deserve. I strongly encourage you all to sign onto the permanent vote by mail list and vote from the comforts of your home. Go to ChampaignCountyClerkIL.gov and sign up now.
Don't miss your chance to cheer on Fighting Illini basketball this season.
Deafening in here, 15,000, another shutout.
We need all of Illini Nation to help us defend State Farm Center.
And Illinois overcomes their largest deficit of the season.
Great seat locations are still available for you to see Illinois basketball live this season.
The Illini win it!
Get your tickets today at fightingillini.com.
Tapman's Towing reminds all Illini fans, when you're on the road and see lights flashing, move over and use caution passing. Let's all get home safe tonight.
Logan at Frequent. Let's check weather for East Central Illinois, Champaign, Urbana City, and a nice way to wind out this month of November. Welcome in December with a mild go of it and liquid precipitation. No real winter on the maps and charts here for the foreseeable future. Up close to and around 50 for the high today with increasing clouds and a bit of rain breaking out this afternoon. Gusty south wind. Widespread rains across the area for tonight through tomorrow morning. They'll taper in the early afternoon after 3/4 of an inch out there. Temperatures to about 40 tonight. 47 and turning a bit colder tomorrow afternoon as winds shift around into the west-northwest. A little bit of drizzle early tomorrow night and a low down to 38, and some of that drizzle could linger into the early morning hours of Saturday, mostly cloudy 47, upper 40s on Sunday, a couple of sprinkles early and late, 45 on Monday. Tuesday, again, a couple of sprinkles around at 45 degrees for the high, winds close to 50 degrees. Next Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, fair amount of sunshine and gusty winds too. For Stevie Jay Broadcasting, I'm meteorologist Greg Soldier.
Hi, it's Stevie Jay. So I took my mom into Audubell, owned by Jeff Hanley, who owns 13 locations around central Illinois. She's had so much trouble hearing for so long. Audubell, Audibel, for hearing. And some of the new technologies, they've got AI now for some of these hearing aids, and they're virtually invisible. It's unbelievable, and it helped my mom. It helped her incredibly. We've been to other places. This is by far the best place I've ever been in for hearing help. Go to audibelteam.com. That's Audibel. If you want more information about Audubell and how Jeff Hanley and his amazing culture and an amazing team that they have, go to audibelteam.com. That's Audibel, audibelteam.com. You'll be so happy you found Audubell. Amazing work. They got a location in Champaign. Go to audibelteam.com. That's audibelteam.com. Yeah, all right. Again, we're going to enjoy what we got. Sunshine and a little rain later, and then just enjoy every mild day we get because get through the month, and then January and February, and then March Madness is.
Are you doing any of your decorations type stuff?
Yeah, I got the tree up.
You do?
Still puts in a little few. Right now, it's just lights and
right.
trees.
We're just lights right now, too, but it's so pretty.
No, it is. It is. It just, again.
Having that glow.
Yeah.
And we keep it on all the time.
We do, too. And I got banister lights and
awesome.
Put the 2 little trees by the door lights, so I got some of that going. But yeah. So it's just Christmas time now, and we got to get some Christmas bumpers going. I got to get that going.
Yeah, that's
true. If you want Christmas songs, Christian FM's got them on 95.3, and they're really good.
Yeah.
Great Christmas songs.
Like really meaningful stuff, not I want a hippopotamus. And Grandma got run over by a radio. I mean, every once in a while, that's fun.
Jingle bells, barking dogs. We got that. Anyway, no, it's great to hear it. And Christian FM is indeed encouraging and uplifting. Yes. It really, really is. You listen to that
right now.
You don't have a smile on your face. You'd go tune that in for a bit and see what happens, because it just really does encourage.
Yeah.
Really, really good. And that's been around, gosh, how long have we had Christian FM? 5 years now?
At least.
Yeah. No, it's been great. I think a lot of people listen. I think it's kind of a silent majority thing. I think a lot of people tune in to that station, but when I listen, I sure enjoy it. So hope you do too. All right, we had John Decker on earlier today. He bought tickets to Rolling Stone, wouldn't tell Diane how much he paid.
That's right. He said, I woke up in a good mood, and now you're hitting me with the question of how much were those tickets?
How much could Rolling Stone see? And remember now, our great television White House correspondent, I mean, it had to be four figures, right? It
probably so.
A couple $1,000.
Especially if you want something good.
Yeah, I mean, it has to be.
I mean, this has got to be their finale. I mean, how many last
Mick's only
when
80.
Hell Freezes Over tour that we'll get together again? But Mick being 80, and I think
unbelievable.
The other the guy that
Keith Richards.
Thank you.
Yeah, amazing.
He's
All right.
like 82.
We appreciate you, Diane.
Enjoy the day.
Thank you. That's Diane Ducey. I mean, he jumps around and he's 80. He can't weigh more than 120.
But they say there's oxygen in the wings, and every time he leaves, he puts an oxygen
good for
mask
him.
and gets that little boost.
Can you imagine Joe Biden jumping around like that? Huh? I mean, Mick Jagger, it's unbelievable.
I mean,
unbelievable.
Maybe Joe should do some oxygen in the wings.
I bet he does that already. He already has the hyperbolic thing.
Chamber.
Okay, see you tomorrow. All
right,
that's
see
Diane Ducey. I'm Stevie Jay. Thank you for listening. We appreciate you. We'll be back tomorrow. Have a great Thursday.
I'm Justin Ike, co-owner of Fred's Plumbing, Heating, Air Conditioning, Electric, and Underground.
So, Justin, tell me what you see as typical when it comes to sewer repair. Give me a scenario.
Your sewer's backed up and somebody comes along and says, you need this repair for X amount of dollars. Here's my price. And you don't think to go looking for another company or a second opinion because you don't feel like you have time.
So is it possible that you might get charged a little more because it's kind of a desperate moment? Do some companies do that?
Oh, absolutely they will. They know you're in a pinch. Typically, if you call us, me or Will can be out there within an hour to look at that problem for you. Whether you call me first or you call me second, make sure you give me a call.
Anything else, Justin?
You can always trust Fred's.
Great to know. Thank you. That's Justin Ike, the co-owner of Fred's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning, Electric, and Underground. If you want more information about this great 45-year family-owned company, just go to fredscu.com. That's fredscu.com.
Hey, could you tell me what aisle your car batteries are in?
Sure, I'll go grab one for you. Here's your battery. It might be expired, but oh well. Also, the brand isn't that great, but it should work for at least a year or two, maybe. Anyways, I went ahead and charged you for it, and here's the battery. Okay, have a great day.
What just happened?
Sometimes good things are hard to find, but they're worth the wait. Make the trip out to Interstate All Battery Center at 2504 North Madison Avenue and get all of your battery needs taken care of by the trusted professionals. Give them a call today at 355-4855.
God is able to do more than we ask or imagine. At Empty Tomb, we're imagining a world where children under 5 do not die from treatable causes, and churches can do this in Jesus' name. To make this picture real, we need to connect with extraordinarily rich people who can help launch Empty Tomb's Mission Match nationwide. See missionmatch.org. If you know someone who can help, call us at 217-356-2262. $9.412 billion to launch Mission Match? That's not too much for God.
Make this holiday season truly magical. See Champaign-Urbana Ballet's The Nutcracker, November 30th through December 3rd. Presented in partnership with Krannert Center for the Performing Arts, Area-Wide Technologies, Bill Bass Foundation, Stone Ridge Dairy, Two Men in a Truck, and Champaign Ballet Academy. Tickets at the Krannert Center box office or cuballet.com. Experience the unforgettable story, music, and magic of CU Ballet's The Nutcracker.
You the man, Tim. Dedicated Diesel. Still got any Dixie choppers out there?
Yeah, I was going to say we need to get people over to see Andy and get those Dixie choppers bought and out of there while they're on the at the winter pricing. I mean, once we hit the spring, those things are going to be in demand and they're going to go, and the prices are going to reflect that. So
you can
get over there and make a deal.
You can literally save thousands of dollars on this thing. And it's like the fastest one